Have you ever noticed, in the midst of our hyper-connected, ultra-technological world, that we are more alone than ever? That amid smartphones that can access all knowledge and satellites that can track a single grain of sand on a beach from space, people are still lonely, still searching, still staring at the ceiling in the dark, wondering what it all means. It is a paradox, a cosmic joke, if you will. Humanity has mapped the heavens, sent probes past Pluto, and yet we are trapped in invisible boxes of our own making, peering for meaning in notifications and numbers. And sometimes, the universe, in its curious way, offers a breadcrumb trail in the most unexpected of places: numbers. Numbers are not merely abstract symbols. They are, in the language of the cosmos, as real as the orbit of Jupiter or the pulse of a distant neutron star. When you notice a pattern, a sequence that repeats like 11, 11 on a clock, 222 on a license plate, or 555 inches a receipt, it is as though the universe has tapped you on the shoulder. But what is it trying to tell you? Is it random chance? An echo of human perception looking for patterns? Or something more profound? A subtle signal from reality itself? Science teaches us to see the world in terms of probabilities and forces. Astrophysics teaches us that the universe operates on laws so precise that a slight deviation in the expansion of space could erase galaxies before they even form. Yet, here we are, noticing patterns in our daily lives, perhaps a reflection of the same order that governs the stars. Is it coincidence, or is it, as some traditions suggest, a dialogue between the macrocosm and the microcosm, between the vastness of space and the intimate details of our existence? And this is where the human mind becomes both magnificent and fallible. Our brains are wired to detect patterns, to predict, to assign meaning. It is why we can calculate the trajectory of a comet decades in advance, yet lose our way deciding which path to take at a crossroads in life. In that sense, the recurring numbers that haunt our waking hours are not merely curiosity, they are mirrors. They reflect our attention, our awareness, and perhaps our responsibility to notice not just the signs in the world, but the world itself. Consider 111, a simple sequence, yet it carries a resonance. In quantum mechanics, every particle has a probability wave, a set of possible futures. Seeing 111 is, in a way, a reminder that potential exists, that what you focus on, your intent, can shape outcomes. It is a number of alignment, of noticing the convergence of thought, action, and universal rhythm. It is not magic, nor is it superstition. It is the subtle art of awareness, of being conscious of the dance you are already part of. Then there is 222. Harmony, balance, the very same principles that govern the motion of the planets. In our solar system, the gravitational equilibrium of Earth, Mars, and Venus has been maintained over billions of years. If just one element were out of sync, life as we know it would be impossible. Perhaps seeing 222 is not about luck. It is about reminding yourself to seek balance in your own orbit, to nurture relationships and collaborations that resonate with your highest self, and to recognize that the universe does not separate you from others. It is a network of interactions, of cause and effect, of shared trajectories. 333 appears. And suddenly, questions emerge. How do I serve? What is my role in the grand design of existence? In particle physics, every interaction, every collision carries information. The energy released is not wasted, it transforms, it propagates, it creates new possibilities. 333 is a cosmic invitation to participate actively in the unfolding story of your life, to recognize that your actions, however small, ripple outward, influencing worlds you cannot yet see. 444, the number of protection, of support. Consider gravity. Invisible, omnipresent, it cradles entire galaxies, yet you cannot see it directly. It guides without interference, protects without judgment. When 444 appears, it is as if the universe whispers that there is a structure beneath the chaos, a network of forces supporting you, waiting for you to trust it. Just as the Earth orbits the sun, not by conscious choice, but by the laws of nature, you too are part of a system that is far more coherent than it appears. 555 signifies change. In astrophysics, Stars evolve over millions of years, undergoing dramatic transformations from birth to supernova, reshaping the elements of the cosmos. You too are in constant flux, even when you feel stuck. The universe is a laboratory of transformation. Change is inevitable. It is necessary. Seeing 555 is a nudge to embrace evolution, not just externally, but internally, to align with the currents of growth that have always been flowing through your life. But understanding these numbers is only half the story. The real power comes from conscious engagement. Like a telescope trained on a distant galaxy, you must focus your mind to see clearly. Meditate, visualize, act intentionally, notice the patterns, not for superstition, but for insight. Consider your actions as particles in motion. Every thought, every decision contributes to a larger field of probability. Now, pause and ask yourself, how often do we move through life unaware of the signals around us? How often do we ignore the repeated signs, dismissing them as coincidence when they may be invitations? The universe is neither cruel nor capricious, it is indifferent. Yet within its indifference lies profound opportunity. The numbers that appear are a reflection of your awareness. They are a call to step out of autopilot, to assume responsibility for your trajectory, to acknowledge that your life is a series of choices, influenced by unseen forces, but ultimately directed by your own conscious participation. And here lies the most compelling paradox of all. The cosmos is vast beyond comprehension, yet intimately connected to your choices. The star that exploded millions of light years away did so without knowledge of you, yet the elements it released, iron, calcium, carbon, form your very body. You are stardust, yet you are aware of being stardust. You are a product of cosmic forces, yet capable of self-reflection, capable of noticing, capable of meaning. And when you recognize this, when you engage with life consciously, when you respond to the subtle signs and numbers around you, you are participating in the universe in the most profound way imaginable. Numbers are not magic, they are mirrors. They are reminders of alignment, balance, guidance, protection, and transformation. They are prompts to wake up, to notice, to act, and in noticing, we awaken not only ourselves, but our connections to each other and the universe. This is not about mysticism, it is about responsibility. It is about the courage to see patterns, to see potential, and to act in accordance with the wisdom inherent in the cosmos. So, the next time 11 flashes on your clock, or 222 greets you on a signpost, or 555 appears in a sequence of receipts, do not dismiss it, do not scroll past it. Pause, reflect, ask yourself, what does this pattern ask of me? How can I align my actions, my thoughts, my intentions with the forces of life swirling invisibly around me? Because in that moment of awareness, you are not alone. You are part of the universe's ongoing experiment, a participant in its unfolding narrative, a co-creator of reality itself. And that, my friends, is the invitation hidden in numbers. To awaken, to notice, to act consciously, and to recognize that life is not merely a series of random events, it is a series of opportunities to align with the vast, elegant, and intricate cosmos that gave birth to you, that sustains you, and that watches patiently as you step into your potential. And yet, even as we marvel at the cosmos, the numbers, and the hidden patterns, we must confront a humbling truth. The universe does not bend itself for our convenience. It doesn't wait for our understanding, nor does it pause while we wrestle with the trivialities of our lives. The stars burn regardless of whether we pay attention, galaxies collide without our permission, and the fundamental forces that sculpt reality march on with indifference. And here we are, fragile creatures perched on a pale blue dot, equipped with curiosity and consciousness, capable of observing the cosmos and reflecting on our place within it. This is both exhilarating and terrifying. It is exhilarating because it means that in a universe so vast, so seemingly indifferent, there exists a place for agency, for choice, for meaning, and that place is here in the way we engage with our lives, with each other, and with the signs the universe presents. It is terrifying because it reminds us that ignorance, in the face of opportunity, carries weight. Every moment we fail to notice, Every number ignored, every opportunity for reflection bypassed is a moment in which we fail to participate fully in the cosmic dance of existence. Consider the sequence 1111, often glimpsed on clocks in the quiet hours of the night. It is, in a sense, a cosmic exclamation mark. It calls attention to potential. In physics, the notion of potential energy describes stored possibility waiting to be converted into action. The numbers are no different. They are stored potential in plain sight, waiting for recognition, waiting for engagement, waiting for action. They remind us that what we focus on, consciously or unconsciously, shapes our trajectory. And then there's 2,222. Multiplying the resonance of balance and harmony, it reminds us that we do not exist in isolation. In the gravitational ballet of celestial bodies, no planet, no star, no moon exists in isolation. Each exerts force, each responds to the other, creating intricate patterns of stability and chaos. Similarly, our lives ripple outward, influencing others, shaping communities, and ultimately altering the trajectory of human civilization itself. Balance is not merely a personal goal, it is a relational imperative. When we act with awareness, when we honor the patterns around us, we contribute to the harmony of the broader human and cosmic system. And then we notice the subtle power of 3,333, a number of guidance multiplied, echoing through the corridors of possibility. If 333 is a compass, 3,333 is a constellation of compasses, all pointing toward engagement, service, and purpose. In quantum physics, observation collapses the wave function. By observing a system, we define its state. Similarly, by observing patterns, by paying attention to the world's subtle cues, we define the trajectory of our own lives. We shape the reality we inhabit, not with mystical power, but with conscious participation. 4,444, the number of protection and support amplified. Consider the unseen forces that govern our reality. Electromagnetism holds atoms together. Gravity binds galaxies. The strong nuclear force keeps stars from collapsing. Invisible, yet essential. So too are the structures in our lives. Mentors, communities, systems of knowledge. They support us in ways we often fail to notice. Recognizing them, appreciating them, acting with awareness is how we align ourselves with the natural scaffolding of existence. And finally, the transformative energy of 5,555. Change is not incremental, it is often exponential. Cosmic evolution is punctuated by transformative events. Supernovae seeding the cosmos with heavier elements. Black holes warping space-time. Quantum fluctuations birthing new possibilities. Change is the engine of growth. And numbers are reminders that it is constant, inevitable, and sometimes urgent. When we see 5,555, it is a cosmic nudge to embrace the next chapter, to let go of stasis, and to participate in our own evolution with courage. And this, my friends, is where personal responsibility enters. Cosmic consciousness without action is an empty spectacle. Awareness without engagement is a wasted opportunity. The numbers we see are not just curiosities, they are invitations. Invitations to notice, to reflect, to choose wisely, to act meaningfully. Ask yourself, how often do we look at the world around us, at the people beside us, at the systems we inhabit, and fail to notice the patterns of cause and effect? How often do we ignore the subtle nudges, the recurring signs, the opportunities to act with consciousness and care? The universe does not demand that we act, but it rewards those who do with insight, clarity, and alignment. Imagine a world where each person paused just long enough to notice the patterns in their own lives. A world where 1111 was not dismissed as coincidence, but recognized as a moment to reflect on alignment. A world where 222 was a reminder to act in harmony, where 333 encouraged the pursuit of guidance and purpose, 444 reminded us to appreciate unseen support, and 555 inspired us to embrace change courageously. How different might our world look if we acted with the awareness that every small decision ripples outward, shaping the lives of countless others? And here lies the humility, the wit, and the profundity of our human condition. We are small, yes, minute specks in a vast cosmos, but we are conscious specks. We are the universe observing itself. The same atoms that form distant stars also form our thoughts, our reflections, our capacity for love, curiosity, and responsibility. We are cosmic agents of awareness, capable of noticing patterns, capable of understanding complexity, capable of acting in ways that are meaningful and consequential. Numbers, synchronicities, patterns, whatever you call them, are merely tools. They are reminders of something far larger than ourselves, that we exist in a universe governed by law, by beauty, by complexity, and by consequence. They are signals to step out of autopilot, to consider our choices, to reflect on how we interact with others, how we treat the world, and how we shape our collective destiny. So, every time you see 1111 or 222 or 555, do not dismiss it. Do not scroll past it. Pause, reflect, ask, what does this moment ask of me? How can I act in alignment with the forces around me, with the people around me, with the world that sustains us all? Because in these moments of attention lies power, the power to change your life, the power to influence others, the power to participate consciously in the unfolding story of the universe. And isn't that remarkable? That in a cosmos so vast, with stars burning billions of years before you were born, with galaxies spinning in silent elegance, with forces beyond comprehension shaping everything from atoms to black holes, there is a place for your awareness, your intention, and your action. That is not arrogance, that is fact. You are, in every sense, a participant in reality, a node in the vast network of existence, a voice in the chorus of cosmic unfolding. So I challenge you, every time those numbers appear, to notice, to reflect, to act, to recognize that life is not random, that moments are not meaningless, that your choices matter not because the universe demands it, but because you are part of the universe, and in noticing, you honor it. You honor your capacity to participate, to learn, to grow, to love, and to act with purpose. This is the message embedded in the simple sequences that punctuate your life. The universe has tapped you on the shoulder. Will you answer? Will you engage? Will you step into the role you were always meant to play? Not just as an observer of the cosmos, but as a participant, a creator, a steward. The invitation is there. The opportunity is now. And in that choice, in that awareness, lies the beauty of existence, the realization that we are not alone, that we are not insignificant, and that our lives, tiny though they may seem in the grand expanse of space and time, carry the potential for profound resonance. Every act of awareness, every choice made consciously, every pattern noticed and reflected upon, reverberates through the cosmos in ways we cannot fully perceive, but which nonetheless shape the unfolding narrative of life itself. So, the next time the numbers appear, remember, the universe has noticed you. And in noticing, you have a responsibility to yourself, to your fellow humans, and to the cosmos itself. Because we are, each of us, participants in a grand experiment of awareness, of consciousness, and of life. And it is in these moments of attention that we find meaning, that we find connection, and that we discover the extraordinary responsibility and privilege of simply being alive. And yet, even as we sit here, awed by the patterns and the numbers, I must remind you, this is not about superstition, it is not about magical thinking, it is about attention, about noticing that the universe is not separate from us, and that the same laws, the same forces, the same matter and energy that swirl in galaxies far beyond our reach also course through our thoughts, our choices, our actions. Every time those numbers appear, 11, 11, 222, 333, 444, 555, they are not instructions. They are invitations. Invitations to pause, to reflect, to consider how our lives align with the vast, intricate dance of existence. They remind us that we are not spectators in this universe. We are participants. And in being participants, we have a responsibility, because notice this, the cosmos does not reward passivity. A star does not shine by intending to shine, it shines because the physics of its matter and energy dictate it must. A planet does not orbit with moral concern. It orbits because of gravity. And we, gifted with consciousness, are the only beings we know of capable of choosing to align with the forces around us. Not because we must, but because in alignment lies meaning. So, the question becomes, how will we act? How will we respond to the subtle signs and patterns that emerge in our lives? Will we dismiss them? Will we scroll past them in the noise of modern distraction? Or will we notice? Will we pause long enough to reflect on what matters not just to us individually, but collectively? Imagine, for a moment, that every individual who noticed these numbers, who paused to consider their life and their choices, acted with clarity, integrity, and purpose. Imagine the ripple effect. Communities strengthened, relationships deepened, collective understanding expanded. The universe itself may remain indifferent, but the world we inhabit, our human world, becomes profoundly more coherent, more connected, more alive. And that, in the end, is the point. That is the lesson hidden in those sequences, those moments of synchronicity that appear to us unbidden. Life is not merely to be survived, life is to be engaged. Life is to be observed, reflected upon, and shaped. And it is not only our right to shape it, it is our responsibility. So, every time the numbers appear, I ask you, consider them, reflect on them. Let them guide you to notice what you might otherwise ignore. Let them remind you of your capacity to act consciously, to live deliberately, and to contribute meaningfully. Because in that conscious participation, in that deliberate choice, we discover the extraordinary fact that we are not merely dust in the cosmos, not merely fleeting sparks in the night. We are aware sparks. Sparks capable of influence, of change, of resonance. And if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. The universe does not conspire for you, but it does give you a mirror in which to see yourself. Every pattern, every synchronicity, every number is a reflection, a reminder, an opportunity to engage. Not with magic, not with superstition, but with the profound and beautiful reality that your life matters, that your choices matter, that your awareness matters. So the next time 11 catches your eye, or 222 appears where you least expect it, pause, look around, consider your impact, your connections, your possibilities, and then act. Not because the numbers demand it, but because you are the one standing here, conscious, aware, capable of shaping your life and the lives around you. We are stardust made conscious. We are the cosmos observing itself. And in every act of reflection, every moment of awareness, every choice made with intention, we honor the vast, incomprehensible, beautiful universe of which we are a part. So notice, reflect, choose, act. Because in doing so, you are not just noticing numbers, you are noticing life itself. You are participating in the universe's most remarkable experiment, the emergence of conscious beings capable of wonder, insight, and meaningful action. And that, my friends, is the ultimate responsibility. That is the privilege. That is the gift. Every time those numbers appear, remember, the universe is not telling you what to do. It is asking you to notice. And noticing, my friends, is the first step toward becoming everything you are capable of being. And yet, I must admit something. Noticing these numbers, these synchronicities, is not a magic trick. It's not a guarantee that life will suddenly align perfectly. In fact, life is messy, chaotic, and at times unforgiving. But perhaps that is precisely why these moments matter, because they remind us of potential amidst chaos. They are like stars glimpsed through the night sky, distant, perhaps untouchable, yet undeniable in their presence, offering orientation and wonder even in the darkness. Think about the cosmos for a moment. A galaxy with billions of stars does not orchestrate its formation with conscious intent. And yet, the gravitational ballet that forms spirals, clusters, and nebulae follows immutable laws, producing beauty and order from chaos. The same principle applies to our lives. Patterns emerge, synchronicities arise, and occasionally, the universe seems to wink at us, not because it is conscious in the way we are, but because we are conscious enough to notice. And in noticing, we participate in that unfolding pattern. This is where science meets philosophy. Physics teaches us that every action has a reaction, that forces propagate across space and time, and that even the tiniest particle can ripple outward in effects unimaginable. In a similar way, every conscious choice we make, every moment we pause to reflect, every kindness we extend, every decision we make to engage with life rather than drift through it, sets in motion consequences we may never fully grasp. These numbers, these moments of synchronicity, are perhaps just subtle nudges to remind us you matter, your awareness matters, your decisions matter. And here's where it gets profoundly human. Because noticing numbers, noticing patterns, is not enough. The universe will not carry your intentions for you. The spark of awareness it offers must ignite action. This is where personal responsibility intersects with cosmic wonder. Every time you see 11, 11, or 222, or 555, or any sequence that feels significant, it is an opportunity, a pause in the frenetic noise of daily life to ask, am I living consciously? Am I contributing meaningfully? Am I noticing the people, the opportunities, the beauty around me? Imagine, if you will, a planet spinning silently in the void, bathed in starlight. Its oceans ebb and flow, storms rage, life emerges, evolves, sometimes thrives, sometimes perishes. Now imagine that every conscious human on that planet has the ability to notice their own orbit, their own impact on the system, not because they control the universe, but because they are aware within it. That awareness, subtle, fragile, luminous, is what transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. That is what transforms mere numbers into symbols of potential, reminders that the universe is not indifferent to our consciousness, even if it does not bend to it. And here's where the human story becomes remarkable. We live in an age where technology allows us to communicate across continents in an instant, where we can peer into distant galaxies, see stars being born and dying in ways we could never imagine a century ago. Yet, for all that capability, many of us move through life unaware of the quiet patterns surrounding us. The recurring numbers, the subtle synchronicities, they are invitations to step out of the autopilot mode, to observe, to reflect, to act. And in doing so, we become part of something far larger than ourselves, a universe not just observed, but engaged with, understood, and respected. And what does it mean to act in alignment with this awareness? It means choosing curiosity over ignorance, choosing empathy over indifference, choosing to notice the connections between your actions and the broader world, the way a smile affects another person, the way a decision shapes your community, the way a life lived consciously can ripple across generations. It is in these choices that the abstract patterns of the universe intersect with the tangible realities of human existence. The numbers, the synchronicities, they are the cosmos's way of saying, wake up, pay attention. You are here for a reason, and your choices reverberate. Ahai. So, dear listener, as we approach the end of this journey together, consider this. The universe is not a clockwork toy designed to signal you at precise intervals. It is a vast, intricate, often indifferent expanse. And yet, within that expanse, consciousness arises. Within that consciousness, awareness emerges. And within awareness, choice. And it is in choice that we find meaning. Every time these numbers appear, let them remind you of this. Your life, your attention, your presence, your decisions, they all matter. You are a participant in a cosmic story that stretches from the first moments after the Big Bang to the distant, unimaginable future of the stars. You are stardust that has become aware of itself, capable not just of witnessing the universe, but of shaping it in subtle, profound. And that, ultimately, is why we must pay attention. Not to predict, not to control, not to manipulate fate, but to honor the extraordinary fact that we exist at all, in this universe, in this moment, with the ability to notice, reflect, and act. That is the privilege. That is the responsibility. That is the wonder. So, the next time 1111 flashes before your eyes, or 222 greets you unexpectedly, or 555 appears in some strange coincidence, pause, reflect, consider, choose. align your actions with awareness, and in doing so, become not just a bystander in the universe, but a conscious, contributing part of its story. Because in the end, it is not the numbers that matter. It is what you do after you notice them. It is the life you live, the love you share, the curiosity you pursue, and the awareness you cultivate. That is the true magic. That is the cosmic connection. That is the human responsibility. And if you carry nothing else from this reflection, carry this. We are stardust, made conscious, gazing at the stars. The universe is vast, indifferent, beautiful, and mysterious. And yet, within this vastness, each of us has the chance to act consciously, to notice, to choose, and to contribute meaningfully. Every time these numbers appear, remember, the universe is offering a mirror. Look into it, see yourself, and then act. Thank you for taking this journey with me. And now, let us consider the paradox of human consciousness itself. We live in an age of unprecedented knowledge. We can send probes past the edge of our solar system, decode the DNA of every living creature, and manipulate matter at scales smaller than atoms. And yet, despite all this, billions still struggle with loneliness, with uncertainty, with the sense that life's meaning is just out of reach. Isn't it strange that amidst such vast understanding, the simplest truths about human existence remain elusive? It is here, in this tension between the infinite and the intimate, that the appearance of recurring numbers 1111, 222, 555 offers a subtle form of clarity. Not clarity about the universe itself, but about our place within it. They are signposts, not solutions, invitations, not instructions. They ask us to pause, to recognize the connection between our inner world and the outer cosmos, between intention and consequence, between awareness and action. Consider this. In astrophysics, we speak of resonance. A planet's orbit can lock into harmony with another, creating a stable dance that persists for eons. In human life, synchronicity acts as a kind of resonance too. Our thoughts, our choices, and our attention interact with the fabric of reality, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. Those repeated numbers are like the gravitational waves of your own consciousness, rippling outward, suggesting that even the smallest act of mindful awareness can ripple through the universe of your life. And yet, noticing is only half the story. The other half is choice, because the universe doesn't care whether we act wisely or foolishly, whether we build or destroy, whether we love or ignore. It simply provides the context, the playground, the canvas, the field of possibilities, and it is up to us to engage responsibly, to become not just witnesses, but active participants. This is where philosophy and science intersect in the most profound way. Physics describes how matter and energy interact. Philosophy asks how we ought to interact. And in that space between is and ought, emerges the profound responsibility of being conscious. Every time you encounter a recurring number, consider it a checkpoint, a moment to ask, am I living in alignment with what I know to be meaningful? Am I contributing to the world in a way that matters? Because unlike stars or planets, we have agency. We can choose, and with choice comes accountability, not just to ourselves, but to the universe, in the sense that every action we take reverberates beyond what we see. Let me offer a metaphor. Imagine a black hole, a region of space where gravity is so intense that even light cannot escape. Now imagine that your attention and awareness are like a beam of light. The black hole is your distraction, your ego, your inertia, the forces that pull you inward and obscure your vision. And yet, if you focus, if you notice the synchronicities, if you align your actions with consciousness, that beam of light can escape, illuminating not only your path, but the paths of those around you. Those recurring numbers, those subtle nudges, they are the gravitational lensing of your life, bending reality just enough to remind you where you can shine. So, what does this all mean for the way we live? It means that life is both ordinary and extraordinary. It means that the universe is vast, indifferent, awe-inspiring, and yet intimately connected to the choices of every conscious being within it. It means that noticing is a responsibility, and acting wisely is a privilege, and above all, It means that each recurring number, every 11, 11, 222, 333, 444, 555, is a prompt, a reminder that you are here now, capable of influence, capable of creation, capable of understanding. But notice this, understanding alone is insufficient. Knowledge without action is like a telescope abandoned in a closet. It has potential, but it changes nothing. What truly matters is what you do with the insight these numbers offer. How you respond, how you choose to live, how you cultivate empathy, curiosity, and courage. This is the intersection of cosmic awareness and human responsibility. And it is here, between noticing and acting, that meaning emerges. So, as we bring this reflection full circle, let's embrace a vision both humble and grand. Humble because we are small, fragile, and temporary. Grand because our consciousness allows us to perceive the universe, to reflect upon it, to participate in it, and to influence it. And within this paradox lies a call to action, to live intentionally, to notice, to care, to wonder, and ultimately to act. Every time you see these numbers, remember, you are more than a passive observer. You are a conscious participant in a vast cosmic story. Your awareness matters. Your choices matter. Your actions matter. And by engaging with life deliberately, by noticing, reflecting, and acting, you do not merely witness the universe, you contribute to it, you honor it, you become a part of its unfolding. Because the universe is not just out there, it is in here, within you, within your attention, within your choices, within the connections you make, within the lives you touch. And the numbers, the synchronicities, are reminders, little cosmic nudges saying, wake up, look around, act with awareness, make it count. So, the next time you catch 1111 on a clock, or 222 on a receipt, or 555 inches a sequence of events, pause, take a breath, reflect. Remember your power, your presence, and your potential. And then act. Not out of fear, not out of superstition, but out of conscious, deliberate engagement with the life that is yours to live. Because in the end, it is not the numbers that matter, it is what you do after you notice them. It is how you live, how you love, how you contribute, how you reflect, how you choose. And that, my friends, is the cosmic dance of consciousness, responsibility, and wonder. And here's the subtle beauty. The universe doesn't send reminders with urgency or demand. It whispers. A pattern appears, a number, a coincidence, and if we are awake, if we are present, we notice. But noticing is not passive. It is the first step of conscious participation. And what follows noticing is curiosity, reflection, and ultimately action. Think about it this way. Stars shine for billions of years, not because they know they are admired, but because their very nature is to burn. In the same way, humans are called to act not because the universe demands it, but because our nature, our consciousness, compels us toward engagement. And every recurring number, every pattern we encounter, is a subtle reminder that we are alive, that we are conscious, that we are part of something larger than ourselves. Now, you may ask, is this all just coincidence? Are numbers really messages? And here is where we bridge science and philosophy. Science teaches us to question, to test, to seek evidence. Philosophy teaches us to consider meaning, intention, and consequence. Together, they reveal a simple truth. Whether or not the universe intends these numbers for us, our interpretation, the act of noticing, reflecting, and responding, creates significance. And significance, my friends, is the precursor to action. Consider the analogy of gravity. Gravity doesn't care whether we choose to walk outside or stay in bed. It simply exists. But when we recognize gravity, we can use it, we can orbit satellites, land probes, climb mountains safely. Similarly, recognizing the patterns in our lives, the moments of synchronicity, is like recognizing gravity. It gives us leverage. It provides the possibility to align ourselves with life in a way that is conscious, intentional, and meaningful. And here lies a profound responsibility. because the universe may not judge us, but we live among others who are affected by our choices. Every thought, every action, every decision ripples outward, shaping the world in ways we may never fully comprehend. Noticing the signs, the numbers, the synchronicities is an invitation to live with awareness. And awareness without action is like a telescope turned toward the sky but never lifted to the cosmos. Potential without purpose. Let me offer a concrete example. Imagine you are at a crossroads in your career, unsure whether to take a leap into the unknown or stay in the comfort of the familiar. Then you notice 555 on your clock, 555 on a bus number, 555 inches of phone notification. You could dismiss it, or you could pause, reflect, and consider. Perhaps the universe is not giving you a command, but offering a question. What do you truly desire? What risks are you willing to take to honor your potential? This is where the human mind, with its capacity for imagination, foresight, and courage, intersects with the subtle cues of life. The numbers are not magic, but they are triggers, prompts for reflection, reminders to align our inner intentions with our outer actions. And alignment, my friends, is where power lies. You see, our species has the extraordinary ability to shape reality. Not just through technology, not just through economics or politics, but through the very choices we make in how we live, how we interact, and how we engage with the world. And every small, conscious act, every decision made with awareness is a contribution to the unfolding story of the cosmos. And perhaps that is the most humbling truth of all. We are both infinitesimal and immensely consequential. Infinitesimal in the vast cosmic arena, where galaxies collide and stars are born and die. Immensely consequential in the sphere of human experience, where our choices echo through communities, through generations, through the fabric of shared reality. And it is here, in this duality, that recurring numbers take on their profound role, not as mystical arbiters, but as mirrors, reflecting the interplay between awareness and action. Now, let us consider the subtle humor in all of this. The universe is unimaginably vast, composed of quarks and photons, of galaxies and gravity waves, and yet it has the audacity, the precision, to present a sequence of numbers that interrupts your coffee break, your morning commute, or your scrolling on a phone. It's almost comedic, a cosmic wink. And that in itself is a reminder not to take life too seriously, even as we embrace its profound responsibilities. But comedy aside, there is urgency, because life is fleeting. Consciousness is ephemeral. The window to act, to notice, to align with both the laws of nature and the imperatives of empathy is finite. Each repeated number is a gentle insistence. This moment matters. You act wisely. And so the challenge before you and before all of us is this: to move from passive observation to active participation, to recognize that every pattern, every nudge, every repeated number is a checkpoint in a journey that spans not just your life, but the lives of everyone you touch. To understand that noticing is not enough, reflection is necessary, but not sufficient. And action is the culmination of awareness, the point at which meaning is realized. Imagine, for a moment, if every person who noticed their synchronicities acted with intention, not in a mystical or magical sense, but in the real human sense, choosing kindness over indifference, curiosity over assumption, courage over fear. Imagine if that energy multiplied across millions of conscious minds, shifted the trajectory of communities, of societies, of the planet itself. That is the power of awareness translated into action. That is the ultimate purpose of noticing. So the next time you see 1111, 222, 333, 444, 555, pause, look around, take a breath, reflect on your place in the vast network of cause and effect. And then, with humility and courage, act. Act in ways that honor your potential, your conscience, and your connection to everything around you. Because the universe does not need you to act. But the life we share is waiting for you to step into your responsibility, to illuminate your corner of the cosmos, and to participate consciously in the grand experiment of existence. And in that participation, you discover something remarkable, that even within a cosmos of staggering scale, even within the indifferent vastness of space, human awareness, human choice, human action, your action creates ripples that matter. In the end, the numbers are not the message. They are the prompt. You are the message. The universe whispers, the patterns emerge, and it is through your attention, your reflection, and your action that meaning is born. So, when you notice, pause. When you reflect, think deeply. And when you act, act with courage, clarity, and conscience. Because this is the cosmic contract we all share. Awareness is given, opportunity is present, and responsibility is ours. So when you next glance at the clock and see those repeating numbers, 1111, 222, 333, don't just shrug it off, pause. Notice, reflect, because the universe isn't asking you to decode secret messages or predict your fortune. It's reminding you of something far more important, that you exist, that you are conscious, that you are in a cosmos that has been spinning for 13.8 billion years. Improbably, astonishingly here, capable of thought, capable of wonder, capable of action. And in that improbable presence lies your responsibility. Not to control the universe, not to bend reality to your will, but to live thoughtfully, to act deliberately, to treat life and each other with the reverence it deserves. Because the same laws that guide the stars also govern us. Actions have consequences, patterns emerge, and chaos eventually reveals order. The numbers are just reminders. The real magic, the real cosmic adventure is in how you live, how you connect, how you choose to act in a universe that is, by every measure, indifferent. And yet, in your attention, your curiosity, your courage, the universe finds a mirror, a witness, a participant in its own unfolding story. So, go ahead. Step outside. Look up at the night sky. Let the enormity of the cosmos humble you. Let the intricacy of your life empower you. And know this, in the face of billions of galaxies, countless stars, and untold mysteries, the universe has handed you a gift, the ability to notice, the ability to reflect, and the ability to choose. Use it wisely. Because in the end, that's what it means to be alive. And if you do, you might just find that the universe isn't so vast after all, not because it's small, but because you have finally found your place within it.